Hey everybody, it's Scotty here with Flat Track Flashback. Normally we come into these videos and we're fired up and want to talk about all the exciting things that happened over the weekend, whether it's race recaps or maybe even looking forward to events that are coming ahead. But right now is not the best time to be a flat track fan, and not that sport necessarily did anything wrong. It's just sort of the harsh realities that come with being a fan of this sport. And we'll touch on the Lucas Oil rain out. That's not what I'm upset about right now. There's bigger things that are happening, and the first thing we want to touch on, I guess, before we talk about it is just remember that your time is the most precious gift that you can offer anybody in this life. And there's somebody that you care about, somebody you love, don't hesitate to reach out and let them know that. Don't hesitate to share experiences and moments with them, whether it's something as simple as just hanging out with that person in you know a coffee shop, or being spending time with your families, and being there with your parents or your kids and watching them grow up, and just sharing those moments and having that time together is so precious, because we only have a certain amount of it that God allows us on this earth. And when our time is up, our time is up. You don't get that back. So any chance you get to be with the people you care about, um, don't hesitate to do that. Don't hesitate to make a positive impact on somebody's life. Unfortunately, the flat track community has lost somebody very special over the weekend. The tragic accident up in Welland in Canada over the weekend, and it claimed the life of Tyler Seguin. And Tyler is, you can see just the outpouring of love, and how appreciated he was. We never personally got a chance to interact with him. Only got to see him race one time, and we're fortunate enough to be able to watch clips of Tyler on Fans Choice. If you search Canada on Fans Choice, you can see some races from the Canadian Flat Track Series. And Tyler was such an exciting rider to watch up there. He's a past champion. Most recently in 2023, he was the Flat Track Canada champion. Probably would have repeated that title in 2024 were it not for a bad result at Dresden, which put him behind the eight ball in that championship. And even still, he picked up 4 victories in the Open Expert class on the season, and only lost that championship by 5 points to Don Taylor. And Tyler raced a few times here in American Flat Track Circuit, made a main event at Daytona, nearly got a top 10 at Lima one year. Well, it was a force to be reckoned with up in Canada, and just a devastating loss to the sport. Um, he leaves behind his partner Jenna and a 2-year-old son, Reid. There is a GoFundMe page up. We'll link that here in the video as well as below in the description. If you're able to help out with that cause, please do so. They'll be making funeral arrangements available. At the time of recording this, Monday, June 9th, have not seen those arrangements just yet, but we will share the GoFundMe link. And again, if you're able to help contribute to that, it would be very special to them as they go through this time of mourning. And nothing, I don't know that anything is going to help change the unimaginable emotions that they're going through at this time. Just a devastating loss that it is to no longer have Tyler with us. So, the race that was supposed to be this weekend in Welland, the Battle of the Border, Doug Lawrence has postponed that. It'll be at a later date. We know how dangerous the sport is, and as beautiful as it is at time, there is still that element that we all just sort of put out of our mind, and try not to think about, until it rears its ugly head. And we send prayers to Jenna, to Reid, to the entire Seguin family, and just can't imagine what you guys are going through at this time. Anything this community can do to help, this flat track family, everything impacts us pretty heavily. We are a very tight community, and when things like this happen, even if you don't know the person, it still hits you close to home. And it's just been just seeing all the outpouring of support for the family and the love that people had for Tyler, I guess, softens the blow a little bit, but nothing can fully take away the pain of this type of experience. And it's just not one of those things you ever want to have to see or talk about. So and just rest easy, Tyler. And I know you'll be lining up next to Will up there at the Great Race in the Sky, and 21 and 22 next to each other. So just sending love to that family right now. We also saw over the weekend that the AFT event at Lucas Oil Speedway has been postponed to Friday, July 18th. And there was no shot they were getting this race in. Wheatland, Missouri has seen almost 5 inches of rain just in June already. And we saw a lot of photos, standing water on the track, a lot of rain still to come. I believe they got more showers on Sunday, and just not a window to get that racing done this weekend. At the end of July, there are really only 2 viable dates at that track with how busy they are with late model racing, sprint car racing, modified racing, weekly racing that they do at that track as well. The 18th and the 25th of July really seemed like the only viable dates for that. And even those two dates, that same weekend, the following night, those Saturday nights, they've got car racing going on at Lucas Oil Speedway. So it was kind of tricky to really find a viable date. So do you choose the 18th, which creates a conflict with the Mission Foods CTR Flat Track Series, or do you go with the 25th? And I would love to know. I don't know if anybody has any answers as to what made them choose the 18th versus the 25th, but July 18th does have a bit of a conflict there, and I'm curious how the Corey Texter Series is going to navigate that. One of their announcers, Colby Carlisle, also with AFT. Corey's sister Shayna plays a vital role with Rick Ware Racing and Briar Bauman's Super Twins Championship efforts. So, is Shayna going to be in Missouri, or is she going to be up in Peoria with the CTR Series? Robbie Bobby being the CTR Series technical director, and he's still trying to build those twins for Dalton and Morgan Mishler. And just kind of curious to see what happens with that event. And, thinking about it, if you're a rider in the series and you're not a title contender and you're not assigned to a big team, do you choose to go to Peoria instead of Wheatland, Missouri? Do you choose to go to Peoria for 2 days of racing? If you're an expert and chase a little extra money up there, we see the singles purse isn't that great, to be honest. So it's going to be interesting to see what riders choose to do that weekend. Do they stay with the American Flat Track Circuit, or do they go up to Peoria and contest the CTR Series? Does Corey end up having to move those dates around? I haven't gotten a chance to talk to Corey at the time of recording this to see what maybe a backup plan is in place, but it's kind of just a lose-lose situation there. There's not a whole lot of wiggle room that the series had to make another date happen at that facility, and just hope everything works out in the end, but not a great scenario playing out there either. Now, we've heard about the Sturgis TT, and this event has been the most will they, won't they thing in the history of the sport, it feels like. It's almost as complicated of a relationship as Ross and Rachel were on Friends. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to have the happy ending that those two got. The Sturgis TT is an event that I was not a huge fan of last year when it was coming up, but when it happened, I didn't hate it. It was fine. The racing was decent, and they did bust their tail to make the event come together and actually happen on that weekend. So, kudos to them for pulling it off. Do I think it was the best event of the year? Not so much. If it never came back, it wouldn't hurt my feelings. But the series put a lot into it, and unfortunately, even with all they did, it was an event that still lost a lot of money. And these documents are made available. You can find the report and what the city council or what the city of Sturgis discussed when they made the decision to cancel the event in a nearly unanimous vote. There was one abstaining vote, but other than that, every member voted to cancel the Sturgis TT this year. And that particular document that we were able to see, it listed, everything that goes into one of these events. And the eye-opening thing that I want to touch on is just how much goes into making an American Flat Track event happen, and how vital it is to have fans in the stands and to support these things, because it does take a lot. This particular event alone, I'm just going to highlight some of the costs that went into making the Sturgis TT happen. Now, maybe at different facilities, it varies, but I mean, just track and facility ops alone for this event was $159,775.35. The event staff for the event, security and whatnot, all the event staff that went into this event, that expense was north of $100,000. The Jumbotrons, they had 2 Jumbotrons on site. Those cost $25,000. The air fence rental was $10,000. The purse for the event, $70,000. Sanctioning fees and fish for officials and accident policy, $30,000 in that, plus an additional $7,000 of insurance that went into that event. So you add all that up, and you've got expenses of north of $408,000. And that's a lot to put an event on. It's a big risk. I'm just looking at these expenses alone, not getting into different, finer point details. But even if the event cost was just $408,000, if you had general admission tickets and that was all you were selling at $35 a pop, you would need 11,675 people to attend that event just to break even on something that costs that much money. Now, yes, AFT has varying packages. You got your suite packages, you got reserve tickets that cost a little bit more, but it was very eye opening to see just the expense that went into putting an event like that on. You know, what ends up happening here with the Sturgis TT and the cancellation is very unfortunate, and it's a sort of a messy situation that it was. But I'm appreciative of the documents that highlight just how much goes into putting one of these events on, and it's eye opening to me as a fan, and makes me realize just another layer of difficulty that goes into booking these events. So fans, we need you guys in the stands at these AFT events. We need you guys supporting the sport and coming out and packing out these stands. It's been good to see, the last few rounds have so many people there with Ventura, Silver Dollar, Sonoy, even Daytona gets a good amount being right there by the speedway. I'm not sure that these exact costs translate every single event, but maybe they do. I mean, I can't imagine the Jumbotron, the air fence, the purse, sanctioning fees, and insurance are going to go down much. And you need staff and you need track ops at these places to keep the track in shape. So I'm appreciative of this information coming out and making me more informed as a fan. So I'm not as critical moving forward when it's like, oh, well, why don't you just go here? Why don't you just go there? Coming up this weekend, we do have the Mission Foods CTR Flat Track Series back in action. They're going to be at Triangle Motorcycle Club in Harpster, Ohio. Cushion half mile, and a lot of solid riders pre-entered for this. You got some pretty deep fields, and are going to get a real taste of what amateur nationals could look like. This event will be streamed on Fans Choice for those of you who can't be in attendance, but if you're able to make it up there, it's going to be some exciting racing. But yeah, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Please support the Seguin family. Please support people who are in this sport and doing all they can to make an impact in flat track racing right now, whether it's from a content standpoint or racers, sponsors, the families that are involved in this. Thank you guys for being just the most amazing group of individuals, and this flat track family is something truly beautiful. So we love you guys so much. This week, we also honor Nicky Hayden, Monday being June 9th, 6-9 day. So we'll leave a clip of Nicky Hayden here to send this thing off. If you guys want to get in touch with us, email, Instagram, feel free to leave comments and stuff below on this video. And we will talk to you next week as we look back at the CTR Flat Track Series event from Harpster, Ohio. But yeah, until then, let's check out this clip of Nicky Hayden to close out this week. Love you guys.